What's up, Will? How can I help?
I would love to hear your perspective and get your advice on how I can help my younger brother out. He's having a lot of trouble just really getting his life together, and doesn't really listen to what other people are saying. Would love to hear your perspective.
Give me a little more information. If he doesn't listen to you, this is a pretty short call, because I'll just tell you, he won't listen to you, man. So what is your role? What is your influence in his life, and what is he struggling with?
Sure. So in the past, he's had a very wild lifestyle, you know, like all the drugs and, lots of different people sleeping around, stuff like that.
Yep.
And
sounds a lot like James Childs. A lot like James back in the booth, yeah.
Mm-hmm. He says he's moved on from that, but he's never really moved forward, if that makes sense. So he's having trouble holding on to a job, and he'll have a stressful day at work and say, well, that was a stressful day, so I need to take the next week off. And, there's can't hold on to a job. And so he is just really having trouble moving forward. And we have a good relationship, and he says, like, he really looks up to me, and he, my opinion means a lot to him. And so I try to help him out and give him coaching, and he knows all of the right things to say. So I always, for the last several years, like I'll talk to him about something and say, okay, here's a plan. Here's what we can do to get you in a better place. And he'll say all the right things, and I feel encouraged, and then he just doesn't do it,
How old is he?
And he's 25. And so all of this kind of came to a head maybe a couple weeks ago now. He texted me at like midnight and was just like, I just want to die, man. I just can't do this anymore. And, and I was trying to talk to him and calm him down. And I said, well, are you wanting to hear what I have to say this time? And he goes, no, I don't want to hear it. Yeah. And so he was like, I just want to get stuff off my chest. So I think he's, it's like he wants to listen, but he knows he's not going to do it either. It's like he knows the right things to say, but he's just not going to do it.
Are you in a place where you can meet with him in person?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to break your heart, and then I'm going to give you some tools, okay? Mm-hmm. Truth is, you can't help your brother other than connecting with him and letting him know that you love him. Mm-hmm. He doesn't need another plan. He doesn't need another routine. It's not because he doesn't have the right planner. It's not because the right background music isn't playing during his workout. It's none of those things. What the behavior you're telling me about tells me there's a history of demons there, some of which you probably know from your childhood together, some of which you probably have no idea about. And, dude, he needs a brother that's going to love him, and it's going to hold him accountable, and it's going to love him, and it's going to love him. And sometimes that love means you know where I'm at. Sometimes that love means so that's the hard part, right? You can't help him. He's not missing a plan, okay? He's going to have to make some decisions on his own in concert with community that he says, I'm going to make a run of this, and I'm going to be whole. I think he'll come around because he's got a big brother that loves him like crazy. What he needs more than your judgment right now is your connection. And here's what that's going to look like, okay? I don't want you to bring up his past with him anymore. If he wants to talk about some things, decisions he made in the past that he doesn't agree with, great. I don't want that to be a part of your conversation with him anymore. I want you to love him right now and love him for where he's going, not for the things that he's done, okay? He carries that shame around enough. He doesn't need it. The second thing is I want you to get with him in person, and I want you to tell him, I don't know how often you say this. You may say this all the time. A lot of brothers don't. But I want you to look him in the eye and say, I need you to hear me say these words. I love you, and I'm glad I'm your brother. I will be here for you always. I'm here. And if you ever threaten to hurt yourself, I'm calling in everybody. I'm calling 911. I'm calling mom and dad. I'm calling any, grade school teachers. I'm calling everybody. I'm the fire department, the neighbor. I'm calling in everybody because that's over my ability to help you. And it scares me, and I'm not going to lose my brother. And I want you to let him know when he's ready, You're going to continue to text him. You're going to continue to leave voicemail messages on his machine. You're going to write him letters. You're going to continue to let him know he's tethered in. But until he comes to you and knocks on your door and says, hey, I'm ready for a plan. I'm ready for some accountability. Help me out here. He's just going to continue to leave interactions with you filled with shame because he's not you. He's going to leave interactions with you exhausted because he can't do the things Big Brother Will's doing. Okay? And I know this is hard. I know it is. But at the end of the day, you have to draw boundaries around yourself. He's going to have to make some hard decisions. And, man, there are a few things more powerful than a brother who loves another brother. All right? But nobody who I love gets to threaten suicide without me calling in everybody I know. Nobody around me who I love is going to not know that I don't love them, right? I don't know if I just said that the right way. I'm going to let them know that I love them is what I'm saying, Will, okay? And I'm also going to let them know I'm not going to judge you anymore. I'm not going to try to force things on you. I'm just going to be here, and I'm going to be thinking about you every single stinking day. I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to always answer the phone when you call. But that's the best I can do. And Will, I'm telling you right now, he needs connection. He needs people who are not going to say, well, you know, if he needs love, and connection. And that's that, right? So thanks for that call, man. I do want to know how that conversation goes, Will. I want to know how it goes. And it's best had in person. It's best had planned. Have it. Let him know that he's loved. Maybe this. I'm gonna add an addendum. Write him a letter and give it to him after that, at that breakfast, at that lunch you have with him. Write him a letter and hand it to him so he can take it home and read it and reread it. And I don't want it to mention anything about the past. I don't want it to mention anything about, I can't believe the decisions you're making. None of that. I want it to be short and to the point. I love you. I'm so glad I'm your brother. I'm so glad I'm your brother. And I love you. And when you ever need anything, I'm here. Love, Will. That's it. Everybody needs a brother like Will. Put the judgment down. Start connecting, man.